So, good morning. I'm sitting here and I'm trying to hold myself in, right? Because every time I push, like, go live, this singer, like, surfaces in me and I be get ready to harmonize. I don't know what in the world that is about because I cannot sing and it just baffles me that I be wanting to sing, waiting for y'all. Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Walk and Talk with Lamont Carey. Lady Di, good morning. Liz, Liz said good morning. Good morning, Liz. So I want to apologize because I did not realize that yesterday when we were talking about relationships that the line disconnected because I was closing out the show. So forgive me, I didn't even recognize. I guess I got to pay more attention to uh, what's going on with the technology thing. So how y'all feeling this morning? So I thought that was a good conversation that we were having yesterday about relationships, and a lot of people hit me up and said that they wanted to continue on that track of talking about relationships. So what we talked about yesterday, if you didn't see yesterday's show, hey Liz said missed it. Lady Di said good morning. What we talked about yesterday was more about effective communication when dealing with relationships, and I asked you all, what are you looking for in a potential spouse? And you gave me a whole lot of things that I've heard like throughout life, like somebody that's caring, sharing, and for me, a lot of that, hearing it as a man, I don't know about how other men see it. David, what's up, David? How a lot of other men see it, but it just was real broad and general, and my life experiences told me that being kind and generous meant something else, maybe different than what kind and generous meant to you. And so I was looking for clarification. So I wanted to continue the conversation about love, like looking for how you decide who you're going to give a shot at being a shot at sharing in your life. But today I want to look at it, uh, look at it in a different way. I mean, different aspect of relationship, but still focusing on relationship. Like, how do you keep the relationship like balanced? What is Lady Di? What do you mean by thoughtful ways? Liz said it's a must. Lady Di, what do you mean by thoughtful ways? Like, how do you keep a relationship balanced? Uh, because, like, I learned this thing called love languages, and there were like 5 love languages, and that it says that most people fit into. There's a majority of one that's the most important. And so the love languages were basically, hopefully I can remember them all. Uh, there were some people that liked it. Liz, you said respect. What does that mean? There are some people that like service. They like their partners to like do for them. Uh, they show their love by being able to help take care of them, making sure they eat, making sure like really doing for them in a way that makes them feel secure. Lady Di said, "Do for each other." What does that mean, Lady Di? Y'all know how I am about broad terms. You need specifics if you expect the person that you're dealing with to be able to respond to these things that you say you want. Liz said, "Yes, great test. The love languages." Liz said, "Respecting each other." What is respecting each other? Respecting me may be So Liz, if I'm from the street, right? Respecting me based on what I deem as respect in the street may be totally different if I grew up in a more upscale lifestyle. So respect is different. So I think you have to be even clarify when you say respect, what does that mean? Tanya, good morning, Tanya. Liz also say, I am touch and he is affirmation. Right. So touch is another one. And touch is the one that I probably missed most in relationships because I wasn't really like the touchy kind of guy. And so there is touch, someone that likes to be held, someone that likes to be hold your hands, someone that likes to be sitting beside you, maybe knees touching, shoulders touching, or what have you. Then there's affirmation, people that want to be told that you're intelligent, you look beautiful today. That was a great response. And then there is touch, affirmation, service. Why is my brain going blank? Hey Vincent, what's happening, champ? Liz says, yes, my husband was on that street definition at first. Right, so when your husband was on that street definition, so what you meant by respect was totally different than what he meant by respect. And if you don't mind, can you like elaborate like what the differences were and who was the one that recognized that his definition of respect and your definition of respect wasn't the same thing? And so because you were still together and still respecting each other, you had to figure out how to find that medium where you're respecting him the way that he knows respect and he's respecting you the way that you want to be respected. And so for both of y'all, I believe it was an expansion of your interpretations of what respect mean, and it helped you evolve and probably strengthen your relationship, right? So Liz said he straight up said it. So what did he straight up and say, Liz? I don't know what he straight up and say. What did he straight up and say? Liz said 7 years married. Congratulations. So how do you all keep your relationships balanced? Because I remember it was a woman yesterday that was like, she needed her man to understand that everything that she do out in the world is for the house. And I'm just trying to understand, like, what does that mean? And so how do you balance? And for you all that aren't familiar with the love language, it probably was the greatest thing that I learned, but I learned it after a relationship ended. And if I had known this, then I would have recognized, I recognized the love language. I didn't recognize it as a love language. I recognized that it was something that she wanted, but I didn't understand that that was something that she needed. And so what I did, I was doing like active service, but hers was like affirmation and touch. And so I didn't really, so I saw them, but I didn't understand how important they were because I only understood my love language and what my definition of what love felt like and meant to me. That is what I tried to put on her. Now she recognized the things that I was doing and she understood that that's what I was trying to show, but it wasn't what she needed in return to feel loved and feel supported. So Liz said he told me his definition of respect and how it was about street. So what was your definition of respect? Break it down. So, Miss B said 5 love languages. Gifts, that's right. Affirmation, quality time, touch, and acts of kindness. That's right, Miss B. And so Hey, Wendy. Good morning, star. So, gifts. Lady Di was talking about gifts yesterday, right? She likes flowers. She likes gold. She likes diamonds. And I was talking to one of my friends yesterday about that, and she was saying, did you ask her like what did that equate to? Because she saw it as, my friend saw it as value, right? That the diamonds and the flowers were a sign of that she was being valued, and I missed that. So that's why I'm having these conversations so that we can better understand what our love languages are and what we need to feel secure in the relationship. And that, I think, helps create balance because we're catering to each other's needs and wants. Star said, good morning. Good morning, Star. Liz said, quality time is my second one, and his second is touch. So I would have raised my hand, right? If somebody asked me what was one of my love languages and they told me the five, but it turns out as I read the book that my love language is, my main love language is service, and let me go back and so I can make sure I don't miss service, acts of kindness, and affirmation. And I was like, wow. So if you don't know your love languages, the book was basically saying, all right, if you say, well, all of these fit into what I want out of a relationship, then it became about, all right, which one, then you start prioritizing which one is more important, and that's how you determine what is your main love language. But I thought I was walking away a better guy, but I got to remember what all five are. So, so Liz said, by him explaining how different it was versus respect in my sense, on time, how I think and feel and understand. Hallway, hey champ. So we talking about, first of all, welcome again to you all. Welcome to Walk and Talk with Lamont Carey. And today we still talking about relationships, but we're talking about how you keep them balanced, where you're meeting the needs of each person that's in the relationship. And I brought up love languages because it was a book that I read that talked about where it helps you better understand your partner and what your partner needs to feel secure, to feel supported, to feel loved in that relationship. And so, yeah. Hallway said, good morning, my brother. Good morning, champ. So, Hallway, you can chime in because I've been trying to hold it down for the fellas, and and we're going to see how it go. But I'm glad hopefully I got some backup today. Lady Di said, I like those things, gold, etc., but I like small things too, like fixing me a snack. So you also like the act of service then, Lady Di. Lady Di also said chilling the glass before serving me juice or wine. What is chilling? What is chilling the glass? So Lady Di, so you on this other level, right, of romance, and I'm more like a bargain basement romance kind of guy. So you might have to what is chill the glass? And in the relationships, so Liz was talking, we was talking about like respect, like the difference. Her guy was from the streets, and his interpretation of respecting her was, or respect was totally different than her definition of respect. And because he was able to verbalize, I believe I'm saying it correctly, what his interpretation of respect was, and she was able to tell him what her interpretation of respect. So I'm assuming that she knows how to respect him based on how he been raised, what respect is about, and he knows how to respect her based on her needs. So I hope that gives them balance. I guess so, because they've been in a relationship for 7 years. Heather, good morning. We still talking about relationships, but we're talking about the day on what keeps the relationship balanced. How do both individuals feel loved, supported, and committed to inside of the relationship? Liz said the book is free on YouTube. Love Languages book? Yeah, okay. Uh, Miss B said The Five Love Languages by Gary Chapman. So the book that I read on love languages, it wasn't the regular book. The one I read was on military, right? And surprisingly, why that one worked for me is because people in the military have experienced a similar lifestyle that I have experienced in prison or in the street life. And so it talked about re-engaging or engaging individuals that have been traumatized, right? And how you can still respond to your woman's love or man's love languages even when they're far away. So that kind of worked well for me. Liz said you can Google and do the test to see which love language you are. Lady Di said place in freezer for some minutes. Oh, so you chill a glass by placing it in the freezer. Oh, so chilling the glass is actually making the glass cold. Got you. So Liz said, yes, I do, laughing. But street definition came up on other things too, like disrespect, etc. Right, because we done lived in different social climates or environments, so everything that we interpret gonna be different. Lady Di said, I showed him that years ago, and now he does it chilled glass. Liz said, I was in the Navy. Okay, thank you for your service. Sister Liz also said, we both also experienced trauma. Hey, Tootie. Lady Di said, lighting candles in the room. So, Lady Di, based on the love language, a lot of things that you have said, sister, because now you know I'm a professor in love languages, is that gifts, feeling valued, and acts of service. So him putting the glass in the freezer for a few minutes is an act of kindness that you appreciate. Got it. So, welcome back to Walk and Talk with Lamont Carey. As you can see, we ain't doing no walking today. We doing a whole lot of talking though. And so we back on relationships, but we're talking about how do you keep the relationship balanced when your partner's needs are being met and your needs are being met. And again, I think the foundation for this is always effective communication. So what do you need from your partner that you in the relationship with? Like, what makes you feel that he or she sees you, that he or she not only sees you and hear you, but respond to those things that you need most in a relationship? And what are like the priorities in a relationship for you that you need your significant other to be doing? Boom me. Hey Sheila. Liz said active listener, willingness to understand. So you know me, I need to know what active listener means. I need to know willingness to understand. So all right, let's just focus on this. What does willingness to understand mean? What in the world does that mean? Sheila said, most of all, consistency. Now, I failed at consistency a whole lot, and I didn't even recognize I was failing at consistency. So what in the world, Sheila, does consistency mean? What does that mean? And Liz said communication. Communication, what I'm learning, is the foundation of everything, right? If you don't have effective communication, you're not getting none of those things from your partner. Because when you say, and consistency can also So for me, I had a problem with consistency because I started believing that anything that I've done more than one time, that was expected out of me every time. And I just, and so in past relationships, I felt that it took away of me being spontaneous, right? It took away of me being just like in the moment and wanting to show you this level of love. If I showed it to you before, now it is demanded of me. It took out my creativity and it became it felt like a chore sometimes in previous relationships. So Boomy said, hey Shawty. Lady Da said he knows I like that and that it perks my response, especially a little later in the night. Lady Di, you trying to get your freak on? He chill that glass. I will keep, if I know it's going to turn you on later in the night, you will have glasses. You will have a freezer full of glasses. You hear me? If I know that's all, if I know that's what's going to help get the move right, every time you walk and you go in the bedroom, be rubbing a cold glass against your arm, against your black, like you feel that girl, that thing chill, right, girl? How you feeling now? That thing chill. So Liz said he used to cut me off because I talk more, gets right to the chase. So listen and hear what I am saying. Okay. Sheila said, following through on what you say you're gonna do at all times. Hey Kim, happy belated birthday. Liz said, right, your words matter. Liz also said, yes, paying attention to the little things. So, I am not targeting you all. I'm not trying to pick a fight with you all. But sometimes when we talking, and I even do it sometimes, I'll cut people off because I be so pressed to get the words out. But I'm learning to control myself and let you get your whole complete thought out, because you might answer the question that I was about to ask, right? And so, but I know a lot of times men are not as vocal, or the men that I grew up around are not as vocal as women are. And so because we're not as vocal, you don't think that we're typically really listening or engaged in the conversation, or that when we respond with a few words, you think we're trying to get you to shut up. Sometimes we're trying to get you to shut up, because I know with me in the past, like I don't want you to overload me with a whole lot of information, right? Because I am listening. And if you overload me with a whole lot of information, I got to figure out how to respond to everything that you said, because you want a response to it, right? And so if your man is not a huge talker, I think being focused on what you're talking about to him gives him a opportunity to like really process it and really hear what you're saying. So if you coming home and you want to talk about your work day, and like give us what, like the meats and bolts of it, right? Like what was the hardship of it, and give us that and let us digest that. And the main thing, I hear women say now that y'all don't always want us to solve the problem. But that's what most men think, that part of our role is helping you solve the problem. So when you just want us listening, you got to say something like, baby, I just want you to hear this. You don't even have to respond to it. So we know our role, because we'll go right into trying to solve your problem. And because we're looking and expecting, or think you're expecting us to solve your problem, we're listening for the problem. So sometimes we miss some of the things that you're saying. And so by telling us, hey baby, look, I just want to share something with you. I don't want you to solve it. I just want you to hear it. And that way it allows our brain to relax and just hear what you're saying. Because again, we go into problem solving mode when you have a problem. Lady Di say, all I want is one Lamont. It's the sweet thought. Okay. But if our thing is touch, and you saying a chill glass helps us out later on at night, then you'll have a freezer full of chilled bottles. Some of the bottles gonna crack because I'm trying to make sure I got a glass in there. Portia, hey love. Sheila said, right. Pat Smith, hey my love. Liz said, mine's was like he killed joy when I shed or upset. Liz, break that down. I don't understand. Lady Di say, I love to read my poetry. So when he is receptive to that, okay. Liz said, I just want him to listen. But Liz, you have to tell us that. Pat said, good morning, Lamont. Good morning, Pat. So again, if you got a guy that isn't as uh as as communicates like you do, is he not a big talker? Again, because we're not responding, because we may give like short responses like, damn, that's messed up. That don't mean that we're not listening. That means we reaffirming to you or affirming to you that we are listening. And sometimes are we just responding that way so you can keep on going or hurry up? Yeah, sometimes. But for the most part, if we think that you're unhappy, we really want to solve the problem. And when you don't want our help in solving the problem, you really honestly have to tell us, baby, I just want you to hear this. I don't want you to try to fix it. Because again, we always trying to, we think part of our role in being your man is to fix the problem. You have a problem, because I'm telling you, I have dealt with women where every conversation felt like a crisis, right? So I felt like a 911 first responder, right? And you know, this chick in my job, she woo, 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 woo. So I'm trying to solve that problem. And then my mother or blah, 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 I'm trying to solve that problem. And then it becomes, and you supposed to, boom, 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 boom. And then I'm beefing because I'm like, hold up, I'm trying to put out all these fires and you expecting me to do woo, woo, woo. So consistency. Can you all please, to keep balance in the relationship, can you please explain consistency so I will understand? This is what you will be educating me, Lamont Carey, on what in the hell do you mean when you say consistency? Liz say, I do, especially when he cuts me off in motion. Liz also said, then I get upset and say, never mind. Liz also said, then we regroup, talk, and express with understanding. Okay. So tell me about consistency and tell me about understanding, because I'm trying to find balance. How do we find balance in our relationships so that we both, the needs and wants of each partner is being met, and so that we can grow in love and a relationship? Consistency builds trust as well. Again, Sheila, I need for you to break down, what do you mean by consistency? So when I say I need you to break down or I need to understand, for me, I'm a visual person, right? So if you give me an example, then that helps me. That helps me understand. Because when you say, like, do what you say you're going to do, which one of the things? Because I may say I'm going to do 20 things in the morning. You might be like, Lamont, I need you to do boom, 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 boom. And I also need you to do boom, 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 boom. And I also need you to do boom, 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 boom. And don't forget that you're supposed to do boom, 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 boom. So by the time you leave out the house in the morning, you done gave me 20 things to do or 5 things to do, right? And so I'm trying to, how you bombard me or how you roll this out, right? Out of 5 things, 2 of the things I may miss. And so please make sure that he's not overwhelming you with responsibility and you not overwhelming him, because in order for, I think, for us to build a solid relationship, I know at least with me, I have to know what it is that you want from me, and you have to give me adequate amount of time to do it. And if you have a timetable on it, then you need to express that timetable. If you telling me, uh, let's use something that most relationships bring up. If you telling me that you want me to take out the trash, right? And you mean right now, then I want you to say, Lamont, do you mind taking out the trash right now? Right? Because in my mind, I'm hearing you say, take out the trash, and I'm like, I'm gonna work the trash into my schedule that you may not know about. So my schedule may be, all right, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna brush my teeth, wash my face, jump in the shower, get dressed, and I'm gonna run my car to the car wash, and then I'm gonna come back home, dump the trash. But if you mean that the trash need to go out right now, and I think you need to be effective on that communication and be like, do you mind taking out the trash right now because it's stinking, or the trash man is about to come. So I need you to be specific on when you're doing that. Hey, Tanya said, good morning, group. Good morning, Tanya. Heather said, consistency is just being there and being supportive. No. That may be a part of consistency, because I have gotten in trouble for other parts of stuff that was supposed to be consistency, and it wasn't that, because I was doing that. So now, break consistency down further. Oh, I didn't read everything that you said. You might have answered my question. I got to slow down. Not always trying to solve the problem for me. A lot of men don't understand we just need to talk. Sometimes it helps us to get our own thoughts and feelings so we can solve it ourselves. But Heather, you have to communicate with that with us, because again, a lot of men believe that we supposed to solve your problem, and we see that as part of being the team, right? You got a problem, I'm gonna help you fix that problem. So you have to communicate that to us, that you just want us to listen. This isn't something that is a cause for us to put on a Superman cape. Pat said communication has to be cultivated over time. Each has to respect the other and speak in kind tones. So, can you give me an example of how you cultivate effective communication in a relationship, Pat? Tootie said, no, right now. Oh, what you mean about taking out the trash? If that's what you're talking about. So, yeah, ladies, when you have a timetable on when you want us to do something, it'll be so kind of you and so considerate of you if you tell us, hey, baby, can you do this? And it will mean so much to me if you were able to do this before I get home from work. And that way it'd be done, because we know, right? But if you give us a whole laundry list of stuff to get done, we're not going to remember all of it. And also remember, we have things that we want to accomplish in that day. So just be mindful of that. We're talking about balance, and both of us have stuff that we want to accomplish in that day. So when you giving out your list of things that you need for me to do, also beware that I may have my own tasks that I need to accomplish as well. Sheila said, I will communicate things to you and hope that you will remember in the future. So it depends on how many things that you give me to do on whether or not we remember, right? So I think what I would like for women and just people in general that's listening here is know exactly what you need in a relationship so that you can ask for those things. Like, have priority stuff that you need. And the miscellaneous stuff, right? If emptying the trash is huge for you, then have that listed on as a priority. But don't go to war with us about things that isn't a priority. It's miscellaneous stuff that just add on that needs to be done. There is no need for us to go to war on something that isn't a deal breaker, and it becomes a deal breaker over time. If your priority list change, Communicate that to us, right? Say, Lamont, uh, I don't like for the trash can to overfill. If once it get halfway, baby, to make me sane, I like the trash empty, right? Because a lot of times, dudes, we like, all right, I'm gonna let that joint fill up, and once it's filled up, then I'm gonna take the trash out. And I'm just using trash can as an example, right? The toilet seat. All of these are just examples, right? Small things that create huge arguments, and it builds up frustration within both of us. So if it's important to you, then you need to outline that to us as a priority so we understand that it drives you crazy. And then everything that we don't get done or everything that you would like for us to do can't be a deal breaker. It shouldn't lead to an argument. It should lead to a conversation. And so just understand that we are trying to get things done in our life as well. And so for balance, just make sure that you're always communicating. And just because you're talking to me doesn't mean that you are effectively communicating with me. You gotta like seek a response from me, because what I learned yesterday is that I heard a lot of general stuff like be kind, uh, be loving, and from my based on the person that you're dealing with life experiences, those definitions that you're using, those words that you're using may have a different definition for everybody that you engage with. So for me, effective communication is laying out what you mean by being kind, by being generous. Liz said, I disagree with some of that. Liz, it's okay to disagree with some of the things that I say. I just need you to point them out what you disagree with so we can have a conversation about it. Sheila said, keeping what you started going to make each other happy, for an example. So Sheila, are you talking about what I did to get you is what I do to keep you? Is that what you mean by that? So Liz said, I think if they do things without me asking, it shows more to me. Okay. And we're gonna do some, I think most of the time, I think in most cases, but you gotta give us the freedom to do things without you asking. And don't just assume if you are a clean freak, you have to recognize that the person that you're with, whether they're a clean freak or not, because you might be saying cleaning the living room is sweet because I didn't have to ask him to do that. But if that's not something that he's immediately or automatically drawn to, then you have to tell him, like, look, baby, I'm going to clean the kitchen. Do you mind cleaning the living room? And then so once he know that's what you like, then eventually he'll see the living room not clean as he would like it to be, or you would like it to be, and he would go ahead and do it. So communicating to it, but don't make everything a damn responsibility of ours. Boomy said, for me, consistency is different according to the individual. You can be consistent in one area and not in the other. It depends, I think, on the person's love language. You want to be consistent in a lot of that area, but more specifically in what means the most to that person. And right, Boomy, I won't know what means the most to you until you tell me, right? Or till I be able to observe you and see what you focus on, or see what you do on a consistent basis. If I see you eating popcorn all the time and I'm in the store, I see some popcorn that's going to remind me of you, and I'm going to grab you a bag of popcorn, right? But don't expect, because I did that on Wednesday, and I did it 2 Wednesdays in a row, that every Wednesday I'm going to be getting you some damn popcorn, right? That kind of consistency becomes a chore to me when I meant it because I just thought about you, so I wanted to give you something because I was just thinking about you. So it keeps the sweetness in it. But if you just started demanding that last Friday you bought me some flowers, why you couldn't do it this Friday? That turns something that was showing affection and appreciation into a chore. And I don't want no more damn chores. Sheila said, having a conversation at dinner time may be about different things that you both expect from one another. Oh, okay. I get that. I get that. Now, now raise your hand if your man isn't one of those men that has that kind of demand, right? Because most of the relationships I've been in, everything that went wrong or is going wrong in a relationship is my fault. And sometimes you all walk away with thinking that you ain't have no issues, right? That you won't have nothing wrong with you. But that's only because we don't voice it all the time, right? We accept you just as you are. So at dinner time, I'm not going to have a laundry list of things that I want to complain about with you because I'm accepting you as you are. And if I voice something, then I'm going to voice it, right? If I have an issue with you, I'm going to voice that issue. And most of the time, after I say what I have to say, my beef with you is done. I'm not beefing no more. I expressed it. I'm done with it. So I don't have an attitude with you. So please don't have an attitude with me. But at dinner time, you cannot expect me to be pointing out all the things that I need you to do to make me happy. Because I think that's overkill. If every time at dinner there is something that I need to improve, then I'm gonna start feeling like I'm not the one that you want to be with. Sheila said it's not gonna be a lot. Oh, whew, thank God. Liz said you have to choose to really pay attention, and I mean by understanding your mate. Liz said no with her. Pat said cultivating by listening and not responding too quickly. If you are irritated by what was said, what you are saying is correct, but takes time to be consistent. Yes. Pat, you might want to say that again to some of the women on here. Consistency takes time. Sheila said effective communication is key. Well, Sheila, I expect that from you all the time, Sheila, to be effective with me. Heather said there are certain things that should be done regularly, and not to speak for all women, but it gets tiring when I say this needs to be done every Wednesday night and the guy consistently forgets or doesn't look out for things to be done. I get that the guy may have other things they need to do, but I am an equal partner with my own career in life. So I can't be the only person with the consideration to do things without asking. I respect that. And I don't know if you all ever experienced this, but sometimes I just don't want to do the shit that I've been used to doing. Right? If every Wednesday you want something done, sometimes I just want to not necessarily buck the system, but I just want to break routine sometimes, right? Because me, I can start feeling like a robot, right?